We're here at the Idaho State House with Capitol News reporter Sean Ellis. You cover the Idaho State House for Capitol Press. Tell us a little bit about this session.
Well, heading into this session, because of redistricting last year, there was a lot of concern among some farm leaders I talked to about how, because there was a lot, urban gained more seats and rural lost more seats just because of the population shift that's been going on for decades now. And there was a lot of concern that rural Idaho, more specifically farmers, agriculture in Idaho would lose some of its clout. There was a lot of concern about that, and there was like about 40 new legislators out of 105, so there was significant concern there. But I mean, all the meetings I covered and all the votes I saw, I didn't even see a hint of agriculture losing its clout or urban having more influence than rural. I didn't even see a bit of that. And there was this group called the Gang of 16, and there were 16 of the freshman lawmakers, and they got together because whispers in the halls, and conversations over coffee, and they formed this thing called the Gang of 16, and they had significant influence on major issues like the health exchange. So they did have a big influence. I didn't see even remotely that agriculture was influenced in a negative way by this shift.
Tell us about the Farm Bureau initiative.
I think one of the biggest, when you look back maybe in a year or two or three, one of the biggest things that happened as far as agriculture goes is that a bill that will change Idaho's ballot initiative process pushed by Idaho Farm Bureau. And what this bill does, it makes it so you can't just hang out in Boise or Nampa and gather all your signatures if you want to put a voter initiative on the ballot. It makes it so you have to get at least 6% of registered voter signatures in 18 of Idaho's 35 legislative districts, which means you have to go out into rural Idaho. The whole bill was designed to give rural Idahoans and farmers more of a voice before initiatives and voter referendums are put on the ballot. So this makes them do that. I don't know if it was on purpose, but Idaho Farm Bureau's bill turned out to be very good timing. So it's just in time for these, threatened mandatory GMO labeling laws, animal abuse laws.
Foreign intrigue at the Idaho State House in the country of Turkey. Yeah. What was that all about?
Well, apparently the Idaho Potato Commission found out there's a private Turkish company that filed for a patent. And they want to use, the patent would give them permission to use the Idaho name on a sugar beet variety. The problem is, but that's a problem in itself for the sugar beet guys, but the problem is this patent was more broad than that, and they could have expanded it to potatoes, meat, other farm commodities. What they could do is they could have put the name Idaho, theoretically put the name Idaho on farm commodities that didn't originate in Idaho. So this is like stealing the Idaho brand. And Idaho Potato Commission went to fight on this issue for pretty much for all of Idaho. They got the legislature to pass an emergency resolution asking the Turkish government and the Patent Institute to deny this patent, and they did. Very recently, the Patent Institute denied it. Now, there's a bill that for the first time ever addresses agritourism in Idaho Code. So there's a new section of Idaho Code that specifically defines what agritourism is and protects them from nuisance lawsuits. So this is a pretty big thing for agritourism. It could help, maybe not spur more agritourism, but it could certainly protect the growing agritourism industry. I've covered it for 3 years now, and I would say agriculture, there wasn't as many maybe huge big issues, big bills as there was before. There was a lot of good medium-sized bills. I would say agriculture, I would have to give them an A- or B+. Change that to an A. I would have to give them an A.
Sean Ellis, Capitol Press, thank you for joining us today at the State House.
Sure.